Now I'd like to present our mayor to give his inaugural address. May I please present the Honorable Arthur G. Vigeant.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you for taking the time for being here with us today. I am thrilled to be able to share this inauguration day with you. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize some of our distinguished public servants that are with us here today. U.S. Congressman Jim McGovern, Senator Jamie Eldridge, Representative Steve Levy, and former Mayor Mike Hogan, who I know is being a father out there today. And of course, Nancy Stevens. I would like to recognize the individuals that will be serving with me over the next 2 years. I would ask these individuals to please stand and be recognized as I state their name. Aspen Valley School Committee member Joe Valeriotti, School Committee members Heidi Matthews, Michelle Bowden-Hedinger, Jennifer Hardy, Margaret Dwyer, and Catherine Hennessy. Our City Councilors Joe Delano, Rick Jenkins, Matt Elder, Rob Tenera, Rob Seymour, Ed Clancy, Don Landers, Tricia Pope, Mike Ossing, Mark Orome, and Katie Roby. I stand with my colleagues today with the City Council and the School Committee, focused on our city's bright future and ready to tackle the city of leading Marlborough forward. Before we talk about our future, I would like to take a moment to recognize 3 individuals who served our city with distinction. Paul Farrow served as Ward 2 City Councilor for 4 terms. We thank him for his service to our city and wish him well in his future endeavors. Thank you, Paul. City Councilor Stephen Levy served Marlborough as a City Councilor at large for 3 terms. For the past year, he has been serving the city both as City Councilor and as our state representative. The time and sacrifice that this took on his part to save the city the cost of a special election did not go unnoticed, and he served our city well in his time as City Councilor. Thank you, Steve. Finally, Mayor Stevens made history in 2006 when she became the first woman to serve as mayor of Marlborough. Mayor Stevens will be remembered as one of the most effective and accomplished mayors. She is leading our city in a better financial condition than it was the day she took office. It gives me great pleasure as my first official act as mayor to sign a proclamation recognizing Mayor Stevens' accomplishments and her contribution to the city of Marlborough. I would ask Mayor Stevens to come forward and accept this proclamation as a modest token of our appreciation. Mayor Stevens. All of us on the stage here today have a challenge before us. Our challenge is to make sure that the city's best and brightest days are ahead and not in our history. Our history is important to us, but not as critical as our future. How do we want people to think of our city? How do we reach our goals? Establishing a new senior center, providing excellent customer service to our residents, providing essential services efficiently, to name a few, all while keeping our tax rate stable. How do we meet the most important obligations of public safety and education of our children without overburdening the taxpayers? The people who voted for us are not only assuming that we are asking these questions, they are expecting us to have the answers. If we don't meet these expectations, it cannot be because we didn't work hard enough. We put politics before our city, or we couldn't put our differences aside for the good of the city. As your mayor, I will not let this happen. Most of us want the same things from our city government. We want our taxes to stay low and our streets plowed. We want to know that our police and fire departments are fully staffed, equipped, and well-led, and prepared to respond. We want the best schools and educational opportunities for all children of all abilities. We want exceptional customer service when we interact with city employees, and we want quality public facilities, including a new senior center that meets the needs of our residents. This list that I have mentioned is not only important to those of us who live here and raise our families here, but these are the indicators of a community with good quality of life that will attract industry of all sizes to our city. That the key to all of what we want to do, I want to do that for you as the mayor of Marlborough. Our future, our quality of life, depends on smart economic development. 6 years ago, when my predecessor took office, our collective challenge was to enhance the city's financial health. Today, our challenge is to build on our foundation we have laid, to move forward with the long-term projects that are important to us, and to make progress on our long-term goals. We have talked about many of these initiatives for years. Now is the time to act. We would not even be having this conversation today without the hard work of many of you who are in the audience and on stage with me today that enhance the city's financial health and put our city on sound financial footing. Undertaking new projects does not mean that we are planning to abandon our principles. First and foremost, we are accountable to the residents and taxpayers of our city. We can only spend what we can afford. We must continue to face economic realities with the same restraint that we did in the past. We can accomplish a great deal with very little cost to the city. Innovation does not always require months of study, consultants' reports, or depleting finite resources. Some innovations are common sense. In my time as city councilor, and as I was preparing for today's meeting, I had met with city department heads. I heard many stories about the way the city has always done things. Just because things have always been done a certain way in the city does not mean they should continue all of our established practices. We do most things well in the city, but there are always room for improvements. We may be abandoning long-established practices if we can find a better way to deliver services to our residents. As a start, we need to learn from our recent challenges in responding to the October snowstorm and Hurricane Irene. Although our first responders and DPW employees performed well, our residents and businesses were kept largely in the dark. The most common complaint that I received from residents was a lack of communication from the city. I heard we had no idea what was going on, again and again. This is something that we can solve very easily. We can't reach out to everyone when we have widespread power outages or telephone services interrupted, but we can reach many residents using social media to spread vital information during a natural disaster or a serious weather event. Within 30 days, the city will set up and test a Facebook page for the purpose of sharing information with residents during widespread power outages and significant weather events. This will also serve as a medium to enhance communication with residents, providing information about events in the city and provide important information such as road closures. We will also enhance opportunities for residents to communicate with my office. I will continue to provide office hours where the door to my office will be open to the public. Both of these initiatives will provide opportunities for increased communication and reinforce my goals for greater transparency. Next, we will improve our customer service in all departments, not only when residents are interacting with our employees in person, but when they are looking for information or paying bills online. The function of city government is not to serve our employees. The function of city government is to serve our residents. Whether a resident's interaction with our city is paying a bill or signing a child up for a recreational activity, we will be reinforcing our quality service. All offices that serve our residents will be open from 9 to 5 without exception. Every employee's first job responsibility is customer service and providing assistance to our residents in an efficient and courteous manner. This starts with the mayor's office and will continue through all of City Hall and every office where we serve our residents. I will also foster a good relationship with the City Council and the mayor's office. Working with former Mayor Morrow, we established 5 bi-weekly meetings to discuss issues that needed to be addressed. We can do more. We should strive together to make politics boring and to avoid doing anything newsworthy unless it's positive. In short, working together, we could provide our local political reporters an opportunity to take a long vacation. And here again, communication is key. We will never agree on everything. We have been around long enough to know that's not how it works. I would ask my colleagues in the City Council and the School Committee to join me in a pledge to use the telephone before using the microphone. Within the first 100 days, we will be assessing the feasibility of several innovations to enhance the quality of life for our residents, increase services, and provide additional opportunities for our residents to contribute to our community at all little or no cost to our city. We will be looking at an Adopt a School program where we will ask local businesses to sponsor a school and provide any excess resources and supplies to our schools. We'll be looking at starting a student intern program for the high school students and graduates who are looking at gaining experience working in municipal government. We'll be looking at the membership of all our city boards and commissions and asking residents with relevant experience to submit resumes if they are interested in giving back to our city. Our city and its boards and commissions need an infusion of new public servants with diverse backgrounds. Many of our boards and commissions will have vacancies or will have turnover in the next few years. We'll be looking at instituting a senior tax rebate program where we qualify low-income residents have the option of providing service to our city in exchange for a partial rebate in the real estate taxes. Finally, I will be calling the mayors and town managers of cities and towns in our region to explore additional opportunities for collaboration on our common problems. Not every idea will lead to success. Innovation requires trial and error. Every innovative that I just mentioned is designed to help our residents, and the potential benefits far outweigh the risks. We must also focus on more traditional issues that have to be addressed. The city must come to terms with unions that represent 3 groups of city employees: firefighters, DPW laborers, and police command officers. I have been involved in city government for nearly 2 decades. I know and have seen firsthand the work that our city employees do. If I could agree to every contract demand without putting the city's finances in jeopardy, I would. The reality is I cannot do that. The stark reality is that as mayor, I simply cannot agree to any contract that the city cannot afford. I'm looking for an open, honest communication, flexibility, and common sense, and I offer the same to all of the unions. As mayor, I have to live within the budget constraints that are a reality for our city, no different than the challenges our residents face with their own personal budgets. I recognize that there are always competing interests. We must continue to seek the proper balance between the needs of our employees and our taxpayers, our responsibility to provide services, and our desire to trim operating budgets. On a more personal note, some of you here today may have noticed I did not win this election by what I would call a landslide. Every candidate who runs for elected office envisions winning by a 2-to-1 margin. I am grateful to the voters who put their trust in me and took the time to vote, especially those that ventured out who were still without power or who had to leave their homes to stay with friends or relatives. Many people did not vote for me. I thought about this long and hard since the election. I want those who voted for my opponent to be proud of how our city is run. It is my hope that by how I serve the city as mayor, I will earn their respect and their support. The voters of Marlborough have entrusted the care of our city to me and those who share the stage with me today. We, the elected officials of this great city, must be guided not by politics, but by what is best interest of the city. With that as a guiding principle, working together, we can achieve our long-term goals. In my time as City Council, I've served with many mayors and worked with dozens of department heads on issues facing our city. I know that today my relationship with the City Council, department heads, and city employees is changed, and my responsibilities have changed. As a City Councilor, my role was being the watchdog, looking for tax dollars that were not being spent wisely. When I found what I considered to be a failure of a city employee to safeguard the taxpayers' money, I tried to correct the problem. My role as mayor is different. My role as mayor is to create a collegial atmosphere with the City Council, so the good of the city is always our focus. My job as mayor is to work with department heads to increase efficiencies, look for ways that budgets can be trimmed without adversely impacting service delivery, so that the city councilors are not the first to spot ways to reduce spending wisely. My job as mayor is to support employees who fulfill their responsibilities to our residents and serve the city with dedication. Some focus too much on what's wrong with the city government. We should be spending more time highlighting what goes right for those city employees who provide exemplary service. Many years ago, under Mayor Hogan, we had an employee recognition award called the Romeo Gab Boys Award. This award was given to a city employee who served our residents with distinction. This year, we will be renewing this tradition, and we will be awarding the Romeo Gab Boys Employee Recognition Award to a city employee who goes above and beyond their minimum job requirements. And I will take great pleasure in presenting this award to a dedicated city employee. I want to conclude today with what I view as the most important issue facing the city, the issue that will require much of our focus in the next 2 years, our financial future. The quality of our schools and smart economic development are all intertwined. Economic development is the key to allowing us to be able to provide our residents with great facilities and services in the near future. A new senior center, as well as what we need to address in the coming years. A new library and community center. We cannot undertake these capital projects on the backs of our residential taxpayers. The only way to provide the resources necessary, enhance our public facilities, is to continue to develop the city's industrial areas, revitalize underutilized or vacant parcels, and attract new industries to the city. We cannot attract new industry to Marlborough without a renewed focus on providing quality education for children of all abilities in our Marlborough schools. Remember as well that undertaking these ambitious projects is in addition to, not in lieu of, providing essential services. In addition to our industrial park, we have identified high-priority sites earmarked for redevelopment, including the former landfill site on Hudson Street. Our city has a lot to offer by way of infrastructure, transportation, and a skilled workforce. Building on the progress that we have been making in the Marlborough Public Schools must be an integral component of attracting new industry to our city. Employees of businesses relocating to or starting up in Marlborough who have children will not choose to live here unless Marlborough schools continue to make strides. We are seeing today just a small example of what our schools do fine and well in the city through our music program, the wind ensemble, and the a cappella choir. I would like to thank the students who came today and the directors for being part of this inauguration. Thank you very much. I cannot offer all the solutions to the challenges faced by our schools today. What I can offer is my full participation in school committee matters to be part of the focus of our schools. Encouraging smart economic development will increase our commercial tax base, reduce the burdens on our residential taxpayers, and provide necessary resources not only for our essential services and federally mandated improvements, but the capital necessary to add to our public facilities. Working with the Marlborough Economic Development Corporation, I will continue my efforts to seek every possible avenue of attracting new industry to Marlborough, as well as encouraging expansion of our valued corporate residents. Of the many things that I have been accused of being, a great orator is not one of them. Ben Franklin once said, "Speak little, do much." These words will guide my actions as your mayor. The hard work starts today. I'm looking forward to serve you as mayor of the city that I am proud to call my home. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to work.